Ah, yes, Thirsty Thursdays. That's a real picture, by the way. Great takes, cold drinks, zero filter. We've been pouring drinks all day here in the Schein Time studios. You should see Uncle Chinchy sitting in the executive producer chair in the control room for us. Let's have a few cocktails. Welcome to the Dive Bar, where I call out anyone and anything around sports that appears to be taking the dive, heading in the wrong direction, in need of a turnaround. Let's start in the NBA. We have a trade in the NBA. And honestly, what the hell's going on here? When you look at this trade, here's what you need to know. Let me sum this thing up for you. The fact of the matter is, Peyton Watson is going from the Denver Nuggets to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Denver Nuggets are trading Watson for draft picks. 2031. Is Jokic out scouting international players for, 6 years down the road? What a joke. What an absolute joke. Now, couple of things, right? And Max Strus is going to go to the Clippers, and, there's some other words on the screen there. This is, for the Denver Nuggets, just a joke. Absolutely absurd. If you're a Nuggets fan, or if you're someone like me who loves Nikola Jokic's game, considers him an all-timer, wants Jokic to win a championship again in the worst possible way, what the hell are the Denver Nuggets doing? I don't want to hear about second apron. I don't want to hear about third aprons. I don't want to hear about first-round picks in 2031. You have the gift of Nikola Jokic. He is as unstoppable a player. And when he won a championship a few years ago, shame on me and a lot of people, I thought that would be one of many. But the Nuggets apparently don't give a damn. You look at bad general manager moves, bad general managers. When you look at the prior regime, you take a look at coaching issues, you take a look at roster configuration, and where were the Nuggets on Jaylen Brown? We talked about this on Schein Time. That was the team. I mean, this is just a waste. It's a sin. You have someone like Jokic, or you can even talk about when Giannis Antetokounmpo won in Milwaukee. These guys are rare, right? And when you have an opportunity to win multiple championships, you got to do it. Won't ever happen, of course, with Giannis winning a second one in Milwaukee. He's now in Miami. How the hell, if you're Denver, do you do this? You get rid of a signature player. This team is not on the same level, not even close, and it's sad. When you look at Oklahoma City and San Antonio, now you have to start thinking about fighting off everyone else as well. Peyton Watson's a really good player. Just going to haphazardly give him up for picks in 2031? I mean, Watson, look at that three-point percentage. I mean, this cat can play. Great two-way player, terrific in terms of, all-around player. He crashes the boards. He's a winning ball player, high basketball IQ. What the hell are the Nuggets doing? Now, on the flip side, I like this deal a lot when you look at it from a Cleveland standpoint. I think that when you look at Cleveland, this is a really smart move. This is a major upgrade. They had to do some different things because I know at the end of the day that when you look at it, Kenny Atkinson seemed to think that they won the Knicks series on analytics. I mean, remember that nonsense and garbage? Look, I think the Cavs should be ahead of Boston. I think the Cavs, should be the team that has the third or fourth best odds. We'll see what happens with Toronto and Kawhi when it's all said and done. The problem is you can't sit there and bang the drum because they still have James Harden. I mean, the fact that, our friend Shams Charania broke the story earlier today, they're giving James Harden, who is 98 years old and a losing ball player and terrible in the playoffs, the fact of the matter is they're giving James Harden a 3-year contract for $97 million. Why? Go ask every single team he's been on, from the Houston Rockets to the Brooklyn Nets to the 76ers to the LA Clippers, what James Harden does when it matters the most. So I like the deal. I like the Watson deal when you look at it for Cleveland, but why would you bring back James Harden? And what the hell are the Nuggets doing? That is unbelievable. Let's go to the WNBA, which has had a roller coaster of a season on and off the court. USA Today published a wide-ranging interview with Sophie Cunningham on Wednesday. She pulled no punches, when it came to the commissioner of the WNBA, the overmatched Cathy Engelbert. And this quote is everything. You do have to have a person in power who is bold, who is confident, who wants the best for the players and not maybe for themselves all the time. So I do feel like, as a whole, that could be a position that's maybe open at the end of the year. But that's not my call. That's up to Adam Silver at the end of the day. So Sophie Cunningham was an opinion on everything, which I love. She basically says Cathy needs to go. And Sophie Cunningham is 100% correct. And we've talked about this. And there's so much noise and garbage and nonsense around the WNBA. And the shame of it is, if you watch the WNBA, the product is unbelievable. The teams are great. The players are great. But they just can't get out of their own way. Everything Cathy Engelbert does is wrong, from blowing off the great Dan Patrick when there was an interview that was scheduled, which was a complete and utter mess, and she's listening to PR flackies. She has no relationship with any player who matters. Asia Wilson has no relationship with Cathy Engelbert. I mean, that's unacceptable. Asia Wilson is the face of the WNBA, the best player in the WNBA. Everything that's going on with Caitlin Clark and killing the golden goose, and we had that unbelievable interview with Nancy Lieberman here on Schein Time. And the fact that Cathy can't get everyone on the same page in terms of, you know, the garbage and nonsense with Caitlin Clark, it's absurd. And you have teams and networks that don't even promote when Caitlin Clark and the Fever are playing, and they have other players on the marquee. You always and only promote Caitlin Clark because she's phenomenal and everyone wants to see her. You don't kill the golden goose. The NBA didn't do that with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and Michael Jordan. What the hell is going on here? Cathy needs to go. The league has, PR gaffe after just all sorts of political nightmares. It's as bad as it gets. The WNBA should be growing and building, not having all this crap constantly. We've said it time after time after time. Cathy Engelbert has no idea what she's doing. And here's the thing, right? So many times commissioners, their sole job, they're in place to protect the sport, protect the owners. I'm sure the owners can't stand her. Who likes Cathy Engelbert? She hurts the product. You need to find someone who understands everything. Buzz, marketing, the players, the schedule, what sells, what works. And for the women who are involved in the WNBA, just to be on center stage and let their talent and greatness carry the day. Because there's so much noise and nonsense, and this all falls on Cathy Engelbert. I honestly think she is as tone deaf and as atrocious a commissioner as we have ever seen in any sport that has ever mattered. Seriously, she needs to go. The WNBA, the fans, the players, the coaches, they deserve so much more than having Cathy Engelbert, who is just a waste of space and detrimental to the cause as the commissioner of the WNBA. Last call at the dive bar is for Paul Skenes.
What's the mental challenge been to sort of kind of grind through this, and have you tweaked anything in terms of your process to try to help figure things out?
No, I haven't really changed anything. Just got to keep going and, remember what's real and what's not real.
What's real then, as you evaluate it?
Just objective numbers, watching the game, execution, all that stuff. Not anything from the outside.
I mean, this is just sad. And Paul Skenes is sad. And I love Paul Skenes. I love the Pirates before the season started. And, I was wrong on that. But I'll tell you the one thing that was just unimaginable was Skenes struggling as much as he has. I mean, when you look at his stats, we're talking about an ERA pushing 4. He's coming off of consecutive starts with fewer than 85 pitches. And it's clear he's not 100%. Yes, yesterday afternoon against Detroit, the miles per hour on the fastball was higher than it's been in a minute, but it just sucks. And here's the problem, right? I don't have faith in the Pirates doing the right thing. you know, they still sell out when he pitches and people pay attention, but I don't know why he's even on the mound at this stage. You know, I think that there are a lot of smart people who do think this is more mechanical and as a result maybe mental than it is physical. And I'm kind of hoping that's the case, right? Because that's correctable. But something's off with Paul Skenes, obviously and clearly. So I just hope the Pittsburgh Pirates do the right thing and shut him down. I thought this was going to be another Cy Young season. I thought this was going to be a playoff season for the Pirates. It's over. The organization stinks. And Paul Skenes, I just want him to get back to being Paul Skenes.